Um, you know, memories, we all have memories. I guess some's bad and some's good. Sometimes I try to remember the good times in my childhood when my mom and daddy was still married. Uh, and I only have a couple of memories that I can say was good memories of my mama and my daddy. Uh, One of them was we lived in Broad Creek Village. Had to been about 19. Let's see. I was born in 41. Carolyn was born in 42. George was born in 44. So was this was before 47. I'm not sure if it was like 45 or 46, but it was when it was just us three kids. And Mama was pregnant, gonna have Michael. I know Joe was born in 48, but once we only had 2 bedrooms in the apartment that we lived in Broad Creek Village. I can remember the street. It was Blue Ridge Street in Broad Creek Village, but I can't remember the house number. But I remember moving into that. And I remember Michael being born. But we had to have a 3-bedroom house. And this was government housing. But it was when we lived on Blue Ridge Street. It come a winter storm. It snowed a lot. And the only way Daddy could get to work was on a bus, and he didn't have a car. And but it snowed and the buses quit running, so he couldn't go to work that day. He worked at one of those shipyards that built all those Liberty ships and stuff, back during World War II. So he stayed home that day, and me and Carolyn, the 2 oldest, and George, he was like a toddler. And Daddy and Mama went out in the backyard and started playing in the snow. And I mean, him and Mama was playing and everything. They were wrestling around and stuff. They was having a good time. And so was we. We thought it was hilarious. I wished I could remember what year that was. Was it 47? It was either 1946 or 1947. But they was playing. Now that was a nice day. Matter of fact, if you was raised up where it snowed a lot and everything, you know how you want to go out and play in it. And you got out there and you stayed out there in it too long. You played in it too long. And all of a sudden, it wasn't it wasn't fun anymore. Your fingers was froze and they was hurting, and you started crying, wanting to go in. I remember I couldn't understand how something could be so much fun, and then all of a sudden you start hurting. Yes, sir. That was that was something else. Hey, actually, as young as we were, we should have been made to come in. They didn't make us come in. We come in when we wanted to come in. And when her and Daddy got done playing out there, they went in, and we was out there playing in the snow. And it wasn't too long, boy, we headed inside crying. Well, why didn't you come in? I'm thinking, well, that's what we're doing. Oh my gosh. That was some pre-1951. There were some pretty good times, especially out playing with friends. In the summertime, we would play till Mama started hollering for us to come in and eat supper. It's supper time. We never got to stay out till dark. Whew. I remember the first time we got to stay out till dark, and it was about like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And Mama said she called us, but we didn't come. So supper was cold. Oh my gosh. That's when we didn't have a refrigerator. We had electricity, but we didn't have a refrigerator. We had an ice box. That's the kind up in the top, they put a big old block of ice. And the iceman bring you a new block every couple of days. Most time we only got a 25-pound block. Sometimes if she could afford it, she'd get a 50-pound block. And we love to see that Iceman coming. Because he came, he wasn't driving a truck. He was an old wagon, a mule pulling a wagon. And had a bunch of blocks of ice on there on the back of that wagon covered with some canvas. And it had little grooves in it. You could cut a small piece off or a big piece, and where them grooves are at, you'd pick it in there with an ice pick and it'd split right down there, and that's what you got. But we loved it when he'd give us little chips of ice that'd fall on the floor of the wagon. And that's all he sold was ice. And it was a black man. That was our first experience with a black person. Was the Iceman. The milkman brought milk every other day, and he was white. And he drove a truck. And some people that could afford it, they had a little metal box, galvanized box, it's like a cooler. And you had that sitting on your porch, and the milkman come and he would set that milk down in that cooler. Well, we couldn't afford a cooler, so our milk got set right there on the porch. And sometimes in the wintertime, the milk would freeze. And this is before it was homogenized. It was pasteurized, but it wasn't homogenized. Meaning when it's not homogenized, Mama always eat the cream off the top when they froze like this. Every once in a while we'd get a taste of that. It was some kind of good. But Mama liked that stuff. When it just sits there in a bottle and you don't move it around or anything, the cream separates from the milk. All the cream rises to the top. And you can see how much cream is in there. The cream would come down about halfway down the bottle. That was all cream. And what's on the bottom was non-fat milk. It was just plain milk. And if you got to drink any, you always mixed it around to get it mixed up good. And my mama, we always got the milk if we was allowed to drink any. Mama drank the cream. That's not good, I guess, but that's the way it was. Just like when we had fried chicken. Everybody wanted the leg. They wanted the leg first and the breast second. And then the thighs, and then after that, all the wings. Nobody wanted the wings. Of course, now that's totally different. But we never got to eat any wings when I was a kid. And we didn't get to drink a lot of milk, fresh milk from the bottle. The milk we got to drink it came in a PET or carnation can of evaporated milk. She would pour that can of milk, that evaporated milk, into one of the empty milk bottles, and then she'd fill it all the way back up with water till it got full. And then she would pour a couple of drops of vanilla flavoring in that, and then stop the lid on it and shake it up good. And it wasn't bad, but I'd a whole lot rather had that bottle of milk than that canned milk. Didn't think nothing about it, that's the milk we got. I remember sometimes kids, when we was going to the private school in the first and second grade, the kids would be bringing their lunch to school, and we would too. Most of the time it was banana sandwiches. And most other kids, when they got their banana sandwich, it was thin slices of bananas put on the slice of bread, and then they slapped the mayonnaise on it. And ours, Mama would take and put a banana on a plate, and with a big fork she'd mash it all up, and it'd be mushed up, and she'd mix mayonnaise in it. And to this day, if I eat a banana sandwich, that's the way I fix it. I mash it up. I don't cut it up in them little slices. But that's the way Mama made it. Anyhow, I sit here and started just about to doze off. That's me. Oh, yeah, I almost did. Anyway, some memories is good, some memories is bad. I feel like it's not that my memories are bad, it's just that after I got past 10, I was lonesome. I was a very lonely boy. But I'll try to do a little bit every day or so about my childhood, my memories, stuff like that. Because I want something. I wish I knew stuff about my grandparents and my daddy's childhood stuff that I know about mine, you know? But you never think to ask them. I don't have a clue how my mama and my daddy met. I don't have a clue. I don't know how my grandmother and my grandfather met. I know they were living in Triplet, Virginia. That's where they lived before Granddaddy packed up, moved them all to North Carolina to Roanoke Rapids and built that house. But I'll be going over that. I'm gonna be doing another thing on my life and try my darndest not to lose it this time. My hearing aid just take a dump. Anyhow, folks, that's my video, and I'm sticking to it, and I'll be so happy if somebody tell me what kind of plant that is. Lisa says she thinks it's geranium. And there's the other one right there. And does anybody know what that is? That a mother of thousands? I know that's a pear plant. Or prayer. I keep saying pear plant. It's a prayer plant. I think that's a mother of thousands. I'm not sure. Anyway, I gotta do it live tonight. It's Sunday night. I'm gonna start at 7. I'm in a better mood tonight than I was last Sunday night. I hope we get more than a couple of people on there. I wonder what that is on that lens. Hold on a minute. That get rid of it? No, it didn't. I'm gonna have to clean that lens when I get back in. Yes, I am. My face is dark, isn't it? I need to give myself a haircut so that General get motivated and cut my hair. I'll make a couple swipes through there tonight. She's off tomorrow and Tuesday. Oh man, I wonder if it would make a difference if let me turn around. If I turned around. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Look at that. I'll have to remember that from now on. I have noticed that the camera angle sometimes is bad on my, and it's usually when I'm sitting here with it on my hat and looking down like that. You know, usually it's like that. Crazy. I don't know. Anyway, folks, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and I gotta get ready. I gotta eat some supper and get ready for my live stream. Please leave some comments, folks, and a thumbs up. And if you really don't like the video, rather than not leave nothing, leave me a thumbs down. I always get at least 1 or 2 thumbs down every day. Anyway, that's it, folks. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.